Settling now, I can breathe. Take a breath, hold it tight. Trace the memory in every line. Does anyone feel what I feel? I know you're feeling what I feel. Oh, and every word is a piece of me. Every single note, every breath I breathe is a cry out, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. And I know how it feels to be alone. I've been knocked down, trying to the cold. Sticks and stones never really did hurt me. I shine this light for the world to see. That poison your mind is crashing, is falling, it's all coming down. Piece of the puzzle that you thought you'd be free. Still don't know why it's so hard to see. Why do we need to care about it so much? Nothing to guide me. Damn, nothing to see. You're losing your mind. I walk this way and nothing to find. What you thought, what you did, it's over now. You still believe me? I'm nothing to believe in. Try not to think about the end. I'm not afraid and I know we rise from dust, fall in the shells. I know the one who needs some help. Trip in the dark and never look back. I'm not afraid and I know we rise from dust, fall in the shells. Think about the
Mr. Sean, can you hear me? Hello? Well,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah, there we go. Cool. Well, I'm sure all the viewers can most definitely hear me. So, apologies for sounding confused. Of course, we never know. You know, has he disappeared? Has he emigrated in the 4 hours since we started the stream and didn't actually do the game that we were planning to do?
I think immigration takes a little bit longer than that, doesn't it?
Indeed, your mic is a little bit crackly, my good sir. But anyway, to those of you who are here, appreciate you being here. This is, of course, ESEA Main out of Europe. I'm Extremes, and joining me is Profeci Gaming. We'll be bringing you a different game to what we originally said because they're having server issues on that particular one. So, unfortunately, we might wait forever. It's better to rather just take a game and then wait forever because we have a second game we want to do, which I'm arguably more excited about.
Yeah, it's Impulse. No, not Team Impulse. Team Preparation versus I forget the other team right now.
And you ask me a hard question as well. I really should not read things while I'm supposed to be listening to you. It's Team Preparation versus Vexed. Vexed Gaming Ebuyer.
Vexed. Yeah, Vexed Gaming Ebuyer. Yeah.
I kept thinking Epsilon because we had that week a couple weeks ago where we did Vexed Gaming Ebuyer multiple times and Epsilon multiple times, and because they're both British, my mind just sort of melds together. I know it's not the team with Smuya, but what is it?
It's the other British-Swedish mix.
Indeed, we have done Impulse Gaming I think once, haven't we?
We have, I believe.
It all blurs together, Prof. I'm trying to figure out.
But this team doesn't seem the same as the one we did, though.
Yes, it does not. A lot of these teams also in ESEA main, just so people know, they have a lot of people on their roster. So it's kind of like it's a bunch of players who are pretty good who've managed to get fairly far up the ESEA ranks by just sort of pugging and having a bit of fun. And there are also teams here that are fully professional and get paid.
Yeah, that is pretty true. I mean, I suppose it's easier once you have a larger roster to work around. It's one of those debates that a lot of people have had, whether larger rosters are the way to go in CSGO.
Indeed, if you guys are wondering why there's no sound, it's because I haven't turned it on because we're talking and these pesky players keep shooting. It's bloody distracting. So don't worry, the sound will come. It's not terrible production, NA production, or anything like that. Well, terrible production, yes.
It's definitely NA production. Definitely NA.
So while we're here, because we don't know that much about these teams, so until the full lineup show up, we can't really say too much about them. Let's talk about the whole Fnatic victory on Sunday night. Expected? Not expected? I didn't expect it.
Not expected. I think anybody that says that was expected is clearly
bloody
somebody
liar.
That then should show his betting history.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe for a second that person said they had. I mean, if he's going to tell you it's expected, then you damn well better put a bet on it.
That's absolute filthy lies. Anybody is that they expected them to win. And I think on that last map, particularly, Flusher's sort of like ascension to godhood for like a good 5 rounds. That would have had a major impact on the game as well. You can't predict the guy's going to clutch essentially a 1v5 and then another ace clutch to take it to overtime. That's going to break the spirit of a lot of teams.
It's pretty ridiculous. But I mean, it is Flusher. He is known as formerly the highest rated player at the majors. But I mean, just showing the obvious class that he does have there. But I mean, look, I certainly thought that Fnatic had a chance. Like, it wasn't unreasonable. Especially because I did think that their Inferno had looked a lot stronger than FaZe's, but I mean, I certainly didn't expect them to have a better overpass than FaZe. Certainly didn't expect them to be able to win Train either. I mean, like, it's not that they're absolutely horrendous at those maps; they just don't play them as often as Mirage and Inferno. So I do really think that even FaZe probably, got a little bit of like it's a fairly huge surprise, to be fair, especially given that they also had a player who actually 1v5'd and they still couldn't win overpass.
Yeah, it's insanity, especially if you look at the emotional side of it for some of the Fnatic players, particularly Crims and Flusher, the desk punching and shouting and getting upset that was going on overpass, and they still managed to win it. I mean, you'd kind of expect them to be in the position to close it out, but if you're FaZe, because the other team's tilting, but that didn't happen. FaZe tilted, and it was over.
Yeah.
And so is our discussion just about over. It looks like the knife round is underway here, so they're going to go run around with knives. The thing that your mother told you never to do. Don't run with a knife, don't run with scissors, and in Counter-Strike you do it all the time.
I'm still waiting for the scissors knife to come out.
That'd be pretty crazy, actually. Like
sharp.
some red plastic-handled scissors.
Those crappy ones that you're the only ones that you're allowed to use at school. Those
yes,
tiny little ones.
with the round nose, so that you're like safety scissors. That would be the coolest thing. They got to do that.
That would be by far the coolest. I mean, those would go for like an unreasonably high price in certain
Probably.
configurations, but it would be hilariously funny to see.
I want it. Make it happen, Valve. I think I have a money idea there. I need to get it on the Steam Workshop, so I'm abandoning this cast to go and do that.
Yeah.
If
Let me
only
know
I-
when you're back in 5 minutes' time, I guess.
Cool. Well, looks like we're underway. Thank you again for joining us. This is ESEA Main out of Europe. YNG Sharks out of Portugal. Unusual. No Fox. And Impulse Gaming out of the UK. Ready to go here on Cobble CT side for the Sharks.
Yeah. So, who actually won the knife run? Was it? I think it was Impulse that won the knife, wasn't it?
I was too busy talking about safety scissors.
That is very, very true. Either way, it is going to be favoured slightly to Impulse Gaming as they start with an aggressive rush through the lower area. That will almost certainly call most of the YNG Sharks players into the area. And, well, certainly no subtlety from Impulse Gaming as they continue to just brutalize their way into the site.
Well, there's the strike back coming in from Drunk. He gets himself a kill there. Looking for more as he gets into the site. And in a close encounter here, and he's going to get dropped. There are trades coming in, though, and the trades are favouring the terrorists. Just one left, and it's Knack. And Knack is no more. That's around there for Impulse Gaming.
Yeah, Kaj and Redgar's the last two players alive. Then actually the two players that did the most damage for their team. So off to a good start here are the Impulse Gaming boys. And I mean, I did say that they sort of went in there, you know, for want of a nail. Didn't really need much else rushing through the middle area there.
Yeah, that was a very puggy sort of thing to do, and it worked out for them. And it can often work also at the sort of level because, you know, the opponents aren't really expecting you to do something that brazen. And brazen it surely was, and it worked out.
It was an interesting setup there by Impulse Gaming. Sorry, by YNG Sharks. They started 4 on the B site with 1 in A, which is, I mean, fairly natural. But the A site player was sitting at the doors. Now that's it gives you a little bit of information on the early rotate through the doors, but it does also mean that he can rotate to the B site very, very quickly. On the downside, though, it does mean that once the A site's actually under attack, you're not going to have a great deal of information if they come from long.
Yeah, this is entirely true, and I think also A site really difficult to retake if you don't have somebody coming in on the flank because the 2 choke points into the A site are pretty tight.
Yeah, and it's easy to lock out the player at the door as well. You just smoke him out, and then he's kind of like he either has to take a fight against multiple players or do absolutely nothing. As Ziggy, well, it seems like Impulse Gaming are not ones for any sort of subtlety as they just run through and shoot JNT in the face.
I guess they're thinking they have the aim advantage, yeah, they're going to abuse it, and obviously the weapon advantage as well. That can work against you with pistols, but through the smoke, Spastic definitely not living up to his name. They aim straight and true.
Yeah, definitely. And YNG Sharks, I mean, at this point, probably Exit can maybe try and get something done. The rest of them, I think, are going to feed themselves to Taylor Doodle. That's an interesting decision.
And an
Not quite
interesting
certain why you
name.
jump across like that.
Gets himself a Glock kill. That's the ultimate humiliation when you've got full armor.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that Exit might be the only one that should actually maybe take a fight, but I guess the 2 guys with armor thought that was a better idea. Impulse Gaming have gotten most of the kills on the Mac 10, so they'll be farming up quite a bit of money. We obviously have a massive fan of Skadoodle in the lobby. He's not allowed to call himself Skadoodle, so he takes Scar's first name and the second part of his name.
Taylor Doodle. That's pretty brazen. No hints there as to who he could possibly be named after. Tyler Latham.
Yeah.
But anyway. So going into the third round here, YNG Sharks now going with the 4 nades. So I think that's probably going to be a carpet bombing here of B-Long, but is anybody going to be there to receive it?
Tree? Is it the boost to tree? Because I've seen that one before. No, it's not. They're going to get caught up. 2 of them get gunned. And the best laid plans all fall awry. Ziggy just catching a couple of players with the proverbial pants around the ankles, I guess.
Very much so. You can see they had an idea in mind and it was completely undercut there by not having anybody in drop to actually stop that initially. So it didn't work out for them. We're going to see the buy, though, for both teams. And Impulse Gaming not necessarily upgrading everything either. So they definitely have a weaker buy in terms of weapons, but they got a bit more in the nade arsenal. So I think for Sharks, they need JNT with that AWP to really come good earlier. That nade didn't do as much damage as I expected, but everybody is flashed here, getting out of plat and trying to take the fight now.
Yeah, and they should be able to take this fight. Only the Mac-10s, and the Mac-10's actually going to get the first kill there. RCF goes down. JNT is going to hit a player while blind. As Bomb's not actually going to go down. Ziggy deciding the better of it, as they are going to seemingly smoke him up, trying to keep him safe there. JNT gets another one. That'll be Ziggy. That was the bomb planter actually as well. Car's going to take that fight at close range. He's going to get himself exit. Leo Donkey is the other kill there, as he's now going to try and move through the drop area. And what is Impulse Gaming going to do here? They don't really have the weaponry to take these fights. They have an AK and a Galil. Galil is on low HP though, as Red Guards is going to try something sneaky.
Here comes
Knack
the boost.
already suspecting it. Yeah.
Boost
Leo
coming up
Drunky.
the tree. And Drunky gets himself the kill. I don't think he's aware of the player next to him. No, he's not going to be, but it should be traded off. And Knack gets the kill. So the double kill there for JNT, and considering in the round he ate 2 nades, he didn't lose a lot of HP for all of that.
I mean, it is CSGO, so the nades sometimes just do absolutely no damage because there's some invisible little wall that seems to soak all of it. But yeah, that was an interesting one. I'm not quite certain why Impulse Gaming decided to not plant the bomb. Maybe getting a little bit of information from one of the other players. Oh, he's pushing you, but I mean, I would have thought that they'd at least try to get the bomb down there. They certainly were in the process of doing it, and then just decided the better of it as Spastic. So Leo Drunk is about to fight someone at long.
I think that's... Well, I was going to say it's likely, but he actually decides better of it. And as you were saying in the previous round, they just stalled on the site, and from there it fell apart. Ziggy getting a nice entry there. I didn't think double peeking that was necessarily the best idea, but he catches Knack anyway. And he's going to have some drop control here. RCF possibly might find him out. Actually deciding to hide in the corner here, which is very often mollied. I don't like this position too much because it doesn't work that much anymore, considering most teams will molly it pretty much first up. Like that. I feel like I'm a prophet here, Prof. And then we're going to get the kill as well from Ziggy on exit. So the rotation coming in from behind going to get taken down by Kaj as well. And JNT, the last guy left alive here on the AWP. He's going to have to scurry away and try and save this. Have I lost Prof? Let me quickly check. Apparently he's still here, but maybe his mic isn't working.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry.
What
I
happened?
think I'm accidentally muted the mic.
Okay. So you were talking that whole time and I was rudely interrupting you.
Something like that.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, I think if you're YNG Sharks, you didn't love that round because that's called the hard reset. They lost the AWP as well, so reduced to very little money and double save territory right now, so may as well go for the force buy.
Yeah, interesting fact, JNT didn't buy armor on that round. Or nades, despite having an AWP and surviving the previous round.
That's a bit of an oversight. That definitely came to bite him a little later on, but for now they're running into the meat grinder here, and JNT gonna get the first kill there with the CZ. Nade should also touch down and do... Ooh, no, doesn't do a bit of damage again, as you said, CSGO nades.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough, and Kaj is going to be pushed out pretty aggressively. Nak, I think, is doing his team a bit dirty here, as he's not actually getting any information. They will have certainly spotted multiple YNG Sharks players, and there's blood in the water, but it's them that are bleeding, as all of a sudden Leo Drunky turns things around. It's still a 2-on-2. Leo Drunky has set it up perfectly for Nakla, who has killed the Skadoodle fanboy. Leo Drunky holding that AWP and gonna land the AWP shot. Spastic goes down. Impulse Gaming lose the round after breaking YNG Sharks, and that somehow should never have happened.
Absolutely agreed. That was a little bit of a shambolic side take there, and YNG Sharks strike back, and in the round that they would have bought anyway, now they get themselves a free AWP and an AK, so... Well, they wouldn't.
It's actually their AWP.
Oh, that's true. Actually, return to sender sort of situation, as it were. 4-2 now in this ESEA encounter here on Cobble. We thought we were going to be casting cash today, but it is still Cobble, so I assume this was a map that was game that was probably scheduled for last week that was moved over.
Or scheduled for later on in the season and move forward. Who knows?
Felt like last week was Cobble week.
That it did.
So full buy versus full buy here. And Spastic taking some long control.
Yeah, Impulse Gaming with about 2 seconds extra patience. It's pretty amazing.
Ooh.
JNT though, he's got no patience. He's going to remove Spastic with a very, very quick flick there, as Red Guards misses the player on the first peek. Ends up taking tons of damage for it.
definite advantage here to Sharks, and Sharks do need to come back into this considering the pain they've taken early on in this game. So in the situation that they're still down a couple rounds, but if they manage to win this one, they're very well placed, and the Sharks are definitely well placed now with those 2 quick kills.
Yeah, it's a perfect setup for them as Kaj is now left with just red guards for assistance, and it's a 2v4. We saw a 2v5 before that kill, and it was of course that famous 2v5 at the major. J&T, he just seems to be able to hit guys while blind more than I can hit guys while, you know, they're standing perfectly still, as Exit is actually going to remove cars there to complete the round.
Nice and easy in the end for them, and I think Impulse Gaming, well, they're still going to be able to buy here, but this is pretty much last chance saloon for them. Only one player with any cash reserve left after this. Surprisingly, they didn't go for an AWP considering the money they had, but maybe feeling more confident in the fast players. As you said, they don't tend to have all that much patience before they go in, and I think Leo Drunky might be wrong here with the PP Weizen buy. Probably
yeah,
a misread.
Either that or he's either that or just a mad James Bottle fanboy, as Knack is going to get fed him a kill. That's Ziggy, pretty easy to kill there. J&T is going to hit another one. Does Impulse Gaming not understand what the S button does? I mean, generally you move back with that, or don't move quite as fast as Leo Drunky. Will get the first kill. He's actually going to get the second. Does he get the third? Spray control. What a beast.
With the PP Bison. That's just humiliating. Comes in on the long flank and sprays down 2 with the 70 bullet machine.
Dude. I can't remember who it was, but I believe it was a Russian commander from World War II era who said, quantity has a quality all its own.
Hence why their particular submachine gun had, I think it was 60 bullets in the magazine.
Yep.
At the time.
And once again, Kaj knows nothing but W key taped down.
I think this is only going to work for so long, rushing everywhere, being aggressive early. When the defense becomes used to it and is set and ready for it, it's kind of hard to make it work. It works when it's an unexpected tactic, but if you expect it every round, it's really easy to shut down.
Yeah, I mean, this is just about the slowest Impulse Gaming has actually played in any of the rounds thus far in the game. So, I mean, YNG Sharks massively outgunned them at this point, as Leo Drunky somehow not able to get the kill there onto Red Gauze despite having no armor. Red Gauze saved by the wall. J&T though, he's not going to save Spastic with some bad aim, and Red Gauze will get the return kill on him. Ziggy and Red Gauze, the only 2 players left now.
Red Gauze is a very Viking sounding name, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the Brits are partially Viking.
This is true. Leo Drunky going on a fishing expedition here against maybe people who might possibly have some Viking blood in them due to some marauding ancestors, I guess. 4-4 on the scoreline, 4-2 on the server, and it's going to be 1. And he gets the first kill, but he's not able to get the second one. I was about to get excited there if he hit that second shot.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a pretty epic start to a potential comeback. But subsequently shut down. YNG Sharks actually a pretty good recovery after, I mean, I wouldn't say a rough start, but it certainly didn't look great, even in those pistols and the anti-ecos by Impulse.
So AWP up here on the T side, and it's ready to catch the push off long, and it does, but it is traded by J&T, not expecting the second player to be there. So again, fast early action going on in these rounds.
Yeah, YNG Sharks actually double AWPing. That's an interesting one, and J&T's going to get caught out. That is the problem. You got such a big gun, it will stick out into areas you don't want it to. Impulse Gaming, once again, the speed. This is the best way to counter these double AWPs. And YNG Sharks will be left to rue a silly positioning error, which cost them one of their AWPs. And I mean, they got no real hope of making it through this round. So Knack will just protect his team from the potential backstab. But at this point, YNG Sharks have very little attempted plays to make trying to win this round, and Ziggy will actually pick up Knack there. Ziggy's actually been pretty decent to start off the game here. He's second, well, he's actually the top fragger in the server with 10. But not looking too bad. Not going to be able to get the second though. As I praise him, Exit removes him from the game, and RCF and Exit look to save.
It doesn't look like they're going to potentially be hunted here either. Impulse Gaming just evacuating the bomb site as it goes off, brings us to 5-all. They're going to hang on to the 2 weapons, and that will help them into the next round, considering there's a couple of their players who very low on money. RCF, who saved the AWP, and JNT, very low on funds. So they're going to spread the love a little bit with the money and still come in with a fairly strong buy, but economy not as strong as you might think, considering they won a bunch of rounds back-to-back there. So for Impulse Gaming, in a situation here where they can potentially break their opponents, and if they can bring a little bit more variation to their play, then I think they'd be pretty well placed here.
Variation. What are you talking about, Extremes?
Don't rush all the time.
Yeah, that would be a variation.
Very
I mean, to be
passive
fair, I
drop
think
hold
YG
there.
Sharks has started to deal with the rush much better, dropping the mollies. I mean, that was okay, an interesting peek from Ziggy.
A slow peek into an AWP seems like a good idea.
Especially because you know they have an AWP, and that is a common AWP spot to sit.
Yeah, not a great idea at all. So that's the early advantage there to YG Sharks, the Portuguese team, looking pretty good. And Portugal versus Britain, that's not really a classic matchup, is it?
Depends what you're talking about.
Not even really in history, is it?
I mean, maybe in the early days of the empires, but after that, not really.
JNT gonna take a bit of pressure here, and could be well placed to get himself a spray down, depending on the timing that he finds. Taylor Doodle gonna walk right into it, goes down, and there the molly lands at the same second. That's gonna deny them really effectively. 5v3 at the moment, and 30 seconds. This is the latest they've ever waited, and they're getting punished for it.
Yeah, Exit getting a very good shot there with the double peak. Kaj comes in, nice to pick up the first. Is he going to pick up the second? He's trying to land that last shot, but JNT has multiple options. He's going to take the first, going to take the second as well. He just seems to be all kinds of a winner tonight. No bad game shows, TV game shows.
Haven't watched one of those in years. Haven't had TV in years. Streaming for life, man.
Well, I mean, in South Africa we have that program, Nuit for Nuit.
6-5, yeah, and I guess round for round they're just trading blows, yeah, and it's pretty close, and that timing there for Ziggy's going to work out perfectly. Playing the quick spawn with this easy gets himself the kill on Knack, who didn't seem to be aware of that. He should have heard the stampeding elephants running down on him, though.
That might have been why he was jumping across, hoping to just make it into the relative safety of the other room in the drop area, but clearly not fast enough. Didn't have his speed. He didn't have his Nikes on.
Hasn't been doing the KZ practice, but
clearly not.
Leo Drunky with the P90, and a relatively unusual buy. You'll see still most teams will, nice flash though, most teams will go for something like an MP9 or a UMP against these sorts of buys, just because they're more cost effective. You get the better monetary value for getting the kills, the 600 reward instead of the 300. So seems like an odd thing to do, and also it seems kind of odd that Order Director is fixated on the P90, but I thought I'd talk about it since we're there.
Yeah, Order Director clearly likes those funny weapons. RCF hits a dirty shot onto Spastic there, despite taking a little bit of early damage. Taylor Doodle somehow wins a fight against a P90 in a spray battle.
They've got some weapons, yeah, this could work.
Well, they're actually pretty good decision making here, as they are going to push towards the A site. Now, they don't know that the AWP is there. This could catch them unawares. As it is, though, they will know where the first player is, and JNT will get himself the second. Get himself the second there. What was I saying? And the grenade, not going to land.
He gets it anyway.
JNT, yeah, I mean, why not take a triple?
Yeah, that's the player. You can see JNT is super confident at the moment, and it almost looked like when he threw that nade that the T player was trying to catch it. Just if you're watching the X-ray there, it was quite funny how he sort of gravitated towards it and then realized what it was. Quickly made tracks to get out the way. But in general, JNT looking really confident. I think for Ziggy, they're kind of unfortunate that he didn't notice the AWP barrel sticking out along, because as he crossed there after going through the main doors, if he was watching closely, you would have seen it. But obviously, when you're moving, it's kind of easier said than done. And bit of spray coming in through the door. JNT taking some damage.
Yeah, and Impulse at this point looking a lot less effective since YNG has been able to pick up any form of utility.
Yep, very much so. Still 7-5, and another slower round out of Impulse Gaming than what we've seen in the past. And hey, Ross, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. Portuguese team of YNG Sharks in control, I'd say, but Impulse are within a shot of bringing this back. This is generally a T-favored map, but so far not really swinging that way.
No, it's not. And J&T is going to get players offered to him. The first one will be Taylor Doodle. As Knack once again just holds that back area. Leo Drunk can get a bit of assistance there from Exit. As Red Guards comes in, he's up. Well, it's all up to him now. He's in a 1v5. He's gotten the first two, taken no damage. So there is the smallest chance as Knack is going to miss the shot. Try and spray through the wall, do a little bit of damage to him there. But very, very quickly, the Portuguese Sharks do move in. They smell blood. Impulse Gaming is bleeding from many, many bites at the moment as Red Guards is going to do what he can. RCF puts him down.
I'm really glad you said bites, because I would have gone with orifices.
That was my first option, but then I realized that could go to a very dark place.
It really would. But I kind of had to say it anyway, because we don't have like tons of people watching at the moment, so I feel like I can get away with it. So I'm going to say it. So we see YNG Sharks now stretching their legs a little bit, making a bit of space between themselves and Impulse Gaming. A 3-round lead, and against a pretty weak buy, and it seems to be reverting to type here for Impulse Gaming, going with ye old rush B tactics.
Yep, I got no ammo or no actual money to continue this through, but in the end it does look as though it should be a very, very easy round here for YNG. Rush does not succeed.
Nice and easy, and what we were saying about orifices and bleeding, well, that happened again in that round.
I'll leave it at that. Impulse Gaming will be looking for their 6th round here on the T side. YNG looking to complete the double figures on the first half. That I think would be a very, very good situation to set themselves up. And Impulse Gaming, I mean, they're going to have to hit a lot of shots here because they don't really have a lot in the way of execute potential with the amount of utility they have. They're going to try the round that worked in the pistol, straight through middle, boys, and no stopping.
Double smokes though, not much communication going on here clearly, but lots of kills flying in. J&T doing typically great work on no HP, gets himself 3 anyway. He shouldn't live through this, and he doesn't. Ziggy takes him down, bringing it into a 2v2 here, and with the AWP on the retake, that could potentially be a problem for the YNG Sharks. Impulse Gaming need this, but Leo Drunky going to be coming in from behind, gets the first kill while his teammate gets the second, rounds it out and makes it 10-5, so great round there for Impulse initially, but YNG Sharks shutting them down effectively thanks to J&T's heroics.
Yeah, it just seems like Impulse has absolutely no idea how to control the long area. They've only really gone to the long area maybe 2-3 rounds at most in this whole round. Other times they just, you know, as we mentioned multiple times, crazy rushes through B, lots of rushes through the middle area. And I do think that Impulse would be a lot better served if they just attempted to take just a slight bit of map control. You know, I'm not saying that you have to go for a 30-second, you know, like 30 seconds left execute type thing, but just try find out where Impulse is and maybe try bait out a response of some kind. But all Impulse seems to do is, all right, guys, we're going A, and we're not stopping until we're in A or we're dead.
Yeah, I'd entirely agree with you on that one, man. It doesn't seem like they have a ton of a... Well, I'd even say if they did have a playbook, it probably doesn't have much written in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. They had a good lead early on, but after that it just fell apart because that aggression got understood and unlocked there by the YNG Sharks. And well, if it was the days of colonial times, I guess you could say the battle here between the British Empire and the Portuguese wouldn't be a fair one, but actually the Portuguese are winning on this one.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if you think about it, some of the biggest land empires in the world have been owned by tiny little countries.
This is true, like the British, right?
And the Portuguese. I mean, remember, the Portuguese controlled Brazil for a long stretch of time.
This is also true. Very, very big country is Brazil, and very good at Counter-Strike. They've turned out to be. The British less so, one would say.
Yeah.
They're not so good.
The less said about the successes of British Counter-Strike, the higher levels, I think the better.
So here we go into the pistol round in the second half, and historical discussions aside, Well, somebody's going to need to show up on what looks like a very historical setting here on Cobblestone. Looks like a castle from yesteryear, but
It
here
is
and
actually a
now.
British castle.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, they are rushing up towards A-Long, getting a lot of control.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was, wanting a little bit more from Impulse Gaming. You can see YNG Sharks have gotten aggressive towards the long area and then pushed into the lowest area. So they know that, okay, at the very least, we know that Impulse isn't anywhere nearby. They've actually pulled a couple of rotations over it. I mean, they'll suspect they've done it, but they won't know for sure. And now, with just going radio silent, it just gives Impulse Gaming that added little bit of extra, just a bit of worry, because you don't know exactly where they're coming from, and that's what you need. It works well on pistol, works even better on a full gun round, and Impulse Gaming didn't really seem to be too keen on that. Carge, though, will have very, very early information. He's going to be taking a couple of shots. Gets actually a very long-range headshot on JNT, and that's probably the most dangerous player on the YNG Sharks side. Is RCF there, getting a couple of kills. Spastic returning the favor onto Leo Drunky. Carge continuing to wreck house here, but he's going to go down. RCF this time gets the kill. He's going to try fake it out and run straight into a grenade. He can certainly win this. It's a 1v2. Does he have it in the tank, though?
In a difficult situation, 5 bullets in the magazine, and that's going to be really tough for him to deal with. Darting all over the place, but it's not going to work out. Spastic with a very clean headshot to take him down, and very unusual buy from both teams having CZs.
Especially on pistol.
And a
weird.
P250. That's
Yeah,
a very strange thing.
I mean, the P250 on T side, I'm not that opposed to. It's actually got double the headshot range of the Glock, and against an unarmored head, you can actually either kill a guy outright or do significant damage to him. So that's not, anything that I'm really against. But things like Deagles on CT sides, pistols, is always a mystery to me.
Only good if you're Nico, basically. That's it.
On pistol, why would you buy a Deagle on pistol?
Done it many times in the past on T side.
Yeah, on T side. On CT side, that's just a bad idea. It's pointless.
Yeah,
It's
no
a
reason
7.
to upgrade pistols on CT side. And the CZ going to get caught with the UMP from Taylor Doodle. So great advantage for Impulse Gaming first up. They're taking a bit of damage though. Not seeing too much of it, but there are kills flying in everywhere. Auto director failing us at the moment. Redgar's in a good position to possibly cut off Leo Drunky, but I think he may have gotten out without being heard yet.
That is very likely, and it could spell doom for Karsh, as he's very likely not aware of the rotation, but it sounds like Impulse Gaming is aware that something is up. Like, they haven't heard enough noise at B in quite a while, so do they suspect? It seems as though they do, and Leo Drunk is going to take out Taylor Doodle, leaves it into a 2-on-2. And I was going to say that the weaponry does favor Impulse, but at this point, does it really? YNG Sharks actually don't even have control of the bomb, so I don't know why we were hyping this up, because it really didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I did want to point it out, but that was a long period of things happening, so I didn't want to interrupt you there. But it's okay. It worked out probably as it should have worked out, considering the weapon disadvantage. It just came to be a little bit closer than one would have thought. But hey, Lone Wolf, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're well, man.
Yeah, JNT with the simple buy. Is it going to work though? That's the question.
Gets a kill there, but takes a ton of damage for it. And you think JNT's the guy who's going to cause the most damage, but he's dead.
He was also the AWPer, so I don't know why they're giving him the money. Like that just doesn't seem very logical at all.
A lot of players tapped low here, 2 of them in fact, so 2's a lot in my strange universe, but that's not going to work out for them. They're getting knocked over here thanks to the superior weaponry. RCF just needs to do some damage with this AK, and he's not even going to be able to do that. He goes down. 4 players left alive for Impulse Gaming, and the map is sort of turning on its head after a really good start for YNG Sharks in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Impulse Gaming has won both pistols and cleaned up the following rounds, so 6 rounds off of pistols. I can understand why some people say that they do make too much of a difference to the game. YNG Sharks, though, once again, well, this time they're on a save. The previous 2 rounds they were actually on weird force buys.
Rushing through the smoke there, or trying to, and then bumping into the wall, motorboating a little bit. They did a bit of damage to Kudge though, so he could be in a bit of trouble here. And they are absolutely intent on getting this kill. Leo Drunky pushing through the fire there. Meanwhile, RCF coming through long. and he's not going to get the kill. Somehow, surviving there are the CT players. And it didn't look like they were going to. JNT only going to get the one kill. Shouldn't get any more. And it's all over. So fast, there's not even much to say about it.
Not at all. Or, sorry, YNG Sharks here. I mean, JNT does finally get the AWP, which he did quite well with. Doesn't have any armor, so he's going to need to hit some nutty shots, which he certainly was capable of in the first half.
Definitely true, and as Lone Wolf is saying in chat, JNT does have a rather nice knife and gloves. Lots of money there. Probably eat of that for a while, if you sold those.
Yeah, you can get a reasonable price off of those. I know a friend of mine got himself some very handy gloves to sell. I think he got 12 grand out of it at the end.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. The purpler the better, right? With anything
Yeah,
item-wise.
seemingly.
Purple or red, you can't go wrong with either of those two things. They're probably going to be expensive, whatever they are. And
Well,
this round, I think, in the situation where whoever it ends up being expensive for could take a little bit of an economic blow. I think Impulse could sustain it a little bit better, but YNG Sharks could lose their lead if they lose this round, and they'll probably lose the subsequent one as well.
Yeah, YNG Sharks, it is fairly important for them to win this round, as you said. I think the double forces in the second and third rounds of this half have set them back quite a bit. Impulse Gaming, though, seems well placed to win it out. Ziggy is going to get burnt out of position. How long does he wait there for? Actually, not long enough.
7 HP on RCF, still gets the kill nonetheless thanks to the fire. Probably shouldn't have happened because he got caught with his pants down. That's always the worst thing as a player. Throwing that... Oh, this is interesting. They haven't spotted the boost yet. This could be big potentially depending on the timing that it finds. RCF on his 7 HP, gonna get the kill and only one for Kaj. They needed more than that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think he actually spotted the players behind him, so ended up shooting one of them instead of the guys coming through the middle area. Had he done that, he probably wins the round. But unfortunately, timing is everything in CSGO, and just gets the wrong timing there. As Red Gauze and Spastic in the 2v3 clutch. Do have one player on very, very low HP, but often doesn't matter in these situations.
Almost feel if the CTs had a... Ooh, I was going to say, if they had a nade, they could get the opening kill, but not going to need the nade as Red Gauze. But then it doesn't matter in the end with the 2 kills coming in, and RCF gets himself 3 on 7 HP. Hero of the round there, no doubt.
That was fantastic play then. Surprisingly, JNT was flashed, didn't hit the shot. I mean, he was hitting everything while he was blind in the first half, but clearly it doesn't. That mojo doesn't cover the T side.
Clearly not, but YNG Sharks getting the round that they needed, and that sets them up at least to keep the train going for at least one more round. Impulse Gaming did have they're doing big damage in Leo Drunky, but they did have the money to buy. But after this, it's going to be a little difficult. And there's the kill, JNT with that AWP. Been so good so far.
Yes, he has. And Ziggy and Red Gauze going to pick the first couple of players up. Ziggy grabbed himself another there with the help of Red Gauze, and Exit will be the last player, well, second last player, as Leo Drunky. This is a winnable position for him. Kaj doesn't actually have head armor. Sorry, he does have head armor, he just doesn't have much HP and could actually go down here. Leo Drunky getting out of trouble. Somehow, he's actually got more utility than Kaj. Going to grab himself the bomb, and what's he going to do with it? I think he missed an AK there. Might have been a little bit more helpful, but as it is in the situation, he will still kill Kaj with a single bullet to the brain. And does his 200 IQ play work?
It does!
Yes, it does.
Oh, and he just spotted the AWP there. It's, you're not able to get it. That's always the worst feeling when you jump off a ledge or something where the weapon is that you could have saved. It probably shouldn't have worked because that sort of that fake sort of thing is something that so many players do. So it is something that the CT player is going to check, and he did, but it didn't matter. Leo Drunky got it anyway, and also apologies there. The order director decided we didn't need to see pretty much any of those kills. So
Yeah.
lots of crazy stuff going on.
It just doesn't seem to make sense a lot of the time, as YNG Sharks are now going to run the aggressive force buy, and that is how you do it. Leo Drunky runs in and shoots a blind Ziggy, and they'll just control. Haven't actually, and neither of these teams really takes much control of the drop area, as Red Guard is able to pick up Leo Drunky, and RCF and friends will clean them up. Exit the last player alive, and JNT He's bouncing around with an AK. He doesn't have money for the AWP as yet. Would probably throw that over to a player of his soon, though.
Yeah, he's not going to be long for this world, I wouldn't think, is Spastic. He's just looking for an exit kill, something to add a little bit of value to their round, because only taking 2 players down isn't really going to hurt Shark's economy all that much. So YNG Sharks are really well placed. They're going to be on 13 and against the 9 of Impulse Gaming. Impulse Gaming looked in control of the half thanks to winning the pistol yet again. Of course, you mentioned they won both pistols so far, but haven't really had as much luck with the buy rounds.
Definitely not, as Impulse Gaming will be on the buy once again. I don't think they really have enough for an AWP here, so it'll be a full rifle round, not max utility, but close to. And unfortunately, the only thing that you could really decry is that FAMAS. It's really not a good gun, but in this situation, I think it's better than absolutely nothing.
Definitely better than nothing, but they're going to have to work with it and try to claw back a little bit here, because they are running out of rounds, running out of game in which it needs to work for them. And well, for Impulse Gaming also, if you look at it, the lack of a head armor could potentially catch them a little bit as well. And I know you'd say it shouldn't, considering they're all AKs, but if you take a shot through the edge of a wall or a corner or something like that, it is the worst feeling when you die to that, because you don't have head armor.
I mean, you kind of expect it though, don't you?
You do, but man, it's a wall.
I think dying through any wall at any time is pretty upsetting.
Quite so slow round out of YNG Sharks, but they are taking some control here towards middle. Kaji in a lot of trouble, and he's not going to survive. One player towards long, though, that could potentially catch them, and it's Taylor Doodle. The Skadoodle imitator gets himself 2. Excellent job from him there to slow them down, and they're all dropping like flies.
Yeah, YNG Sharks not even able to make it into the bomb site despite having a clear path to it. RCF, last player alive. Does he have enough? No, he doesn't. Ziggy just shoots his legs up from under him.
Indeed. Well, Lone Wolf, thanks for joining. If you got to go, you got to go, mate. See you later, bro. And, well, I think YNG Sharks were hoping to say, see you later, bro, to Impulse Gaming, but in that round, getting slapped down.
Yeah, it's another weird one where, like, the team on attack gets a huge opening, basically has a bomb site all to themselves, then just decides to stop and take fights and ends up losing the round.
Yeah, it didn't work too well. And interesting, the Mac 10 on Leo Drunky, I guess, hoping that the players from Impulse Gaming aren't going to have helmets in the last round. It could have worked really well, considering not a single one of them had a helmet. But yeah, only 2, so...
Let's be fair, though. Leo Drunky is the only guy that I've ever seen buy a Bison and a P90 in the same game.
He's just one of those players who likes the SMGs, I guess.
Yeah, or he wants to just tilt you off the edge of the earth with crappy guns in buy rounds.
Then he needs to pull out the sawn off and drop, right?
Yeah, that would be the ultimate one. I mean, that is a BVD special on this map.
And of course, a classic JW thing too, because JW back in the public consciousness now, thanks to the Fnatic victory. But I've always loved his belligerent playstyle. Him and Flusher, in fact.
The thing with JW is, like, he kind of mained the shotgun because he wasn't allowed the AWP.
It's like, you're too shit right now, you can't have it.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, to be fair, he wasn't a good player at that point. Okay, YNG have basically just wasted a lot of time. Impulse
And
Gaming
nothing.
haven't done a lot of... Well, I mean...
Well, there's something.
That is a definite something. Leo Drunky is going to run into the site with somebody completely blind, doing a very good impression of somebody who has seen, or attempted to see, John Cena, and Kaj is going to take a very, very good shot there as JNT replies instantly. YNG Sharks, 14-10 in Impulse Gaming. Money is in the toilet, and I don't see much hope for getting it out of there.
Yeah, you don't want to stick your hand in the toilet, that's for sure. Don't know what's been in there. Well, actually, we do know what's been in there, and that's why you don't want to stick your hand in there. For Impulse Gaming, fishing out what guns they can, whatever dregs. A little wet, a little bit, well, less than useful, considering their quality. Maybe a bit rusty from the water. But they're going to have to work with it nonetheless. And the boost going to get caught. Oh, gets tinked. And there's where the helmet mattered.
Nade him out. That is actually... How do they know to boost on that round?
That is an
Like, that's
interesting
just
one.
amazing.
Two,
That's
boosts
just
going
amazing.
on either side through the smoke. JNT. That's happened a bit too much for my liking for that player.
Yeah. Like, smokes, flashes, he seems unreasonably good when hit with some form of utility that should prevent him from getting good shots off.
Yeah, I'm getting suspicious now, man. No accusations, just suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, as it is, Impulse Gaming not looking too hot at this point. 3 versus 5. Did you see that European team? I think, is it a Danish team, Swedish team? I'm not 100% certain. Man's Not Hot got picked up by a new org.
By Imperial, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting one. They have a few players that people might know, so hopefully at some point we'll get to cast them in main. Oh, Exit spotted him there. Caught a little bit of the shoulder and he's going to catch him with some AK bullets. Those 7.62 rounds dealing the damage. They don't seem to be aware of the player here until he fired. Probably should have stayed hidden a little bit longer there, I think, if he really wanted to have some impact. But it's not going to impact around 15-10 match point.
Yep. And YNG Sharks. I think in they've looked much better in gun rounds. Their pistols clearly need quite a bit of work. And apart from JNT with, I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say some unreasonable shots. I think YNG Sharks has been a better team overall.
Some tilt-inducing shots, you could say, if you're the opponent being on the receiving end of that a couple times. That definitely does not feel good. So if they were scraping the bottom of the toilet bowl, well, now they went to the dump and picked up what they could that's vaguely made out of metal to use as a weapon.
Yeah, Taylor Lidl does have that shotgun, as YNG Sharks just waste a lot of ammunition, really.
At least it isn't 1.6 where you had to buy ammunition, because then that would be a legitimate concern, I guess.
Massive actual waste of money. So Taylor Doodle is going to walk out long and Exit is going to shoot him. I don't know why you're going to walk out that area with a shotgun, though. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, Deagle, sure. Rifle, sure. Maybe one of the SMGs. But by and large, I'm not going to walk out there with a shotgun.
Yeah, the only person I'm sort of confident in walking out with a shotgun is when Sonic's got his Hyper Beast skin on, because then it's spiritually an M4A1S, you know?
Yeah, but he also doesn't push A long with it. Like, he'll play aggressive towards the T side of A-holes, but I mean, he's not going to walk out long and be like, let's try and take long-range duels against rifles.
Oh, look at that. The Deagle gets 2 before JNT comes and uses that shotgun shaped like an AWP and gets the kill.
RCF is going to make the first flank of the game work. That'll be removing Red Gauze. It is Spastic. He's going to have 2 players not looking at him. That'll be easy frags for him. RCF is in an unwinnable situation. Has no time unless he gets these kills. And Spastic knows it already. As Spastic, does he go down before time? He does.
Oh, my word.
Does not. Doesn't. They just made it. Well played there by Spastic.
Jeez, that bullet that impacted above his head, had it hit him first up, I think that was it. That's just so frustrating when you're in that sort of situation. You know there's no time left. You just got to go for it, and you're spraying and praying, and didn't pray hard enough there. Missed the first couple of bullets before it actually took his head off. I think that might have made the difference.
I mean, it's not often that you could say a crouch wins you around.
This is true. It's always interesting with the crouch peaks and the way of playing that a lot of players have, because in 1.6, crouching did help your accuracy a little bit in the middle of a spray, so you'd see most players doing it. In the first probably 2-3 years of Go, most of the pro players were doing it as well. You see it far less now, because I think that sort of ingrained habit has disappeared a little bit. Where you do see it, though, is with AWPs crouch peeking into shots, because they're obviously trying to get underneath the crosshair.
Yeah. But even then, I mean, most AWPers have adapted to firing lower now.
This is true. I mean, when I play, I try to keep the crosshair a little bit lower to cover the fact that somebody's going to actually try to crouch peek you. I mean, with an AWP, I'm not going to do that with a rifle. That would be unreasonable. But it is interesting how the play styles have adapted. I recall talking to a newer player back in 2015, and the guy was saying to me, "Why are all you like high level players crouch peeking the whole time? Why do you guys always crouch?" And it's like trying to explain to somebody who hasn't played 1.6, the reason we all do that is because we can't get out of the habit. It's going to take literally years to not do it.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, it was so ingrained. I think I only stopped doing it probably sometime during last year. Because the problem, of course, when you do that, especially when you play against lower level players, is they tend not to have the crosshair at the head. So if you do play against some less good guys, you're inevitably going to crouch into a body shot and get yourself headshot.
And just frustrate yourself because now you should be wrecking the noobs, and that clearly isn't happening.
Oh, it used to tilt me off the face of the earth. YNG Sharks, again, Leo Drunky going for the tilt off the face of the earth buy with the P90. Didn't work out for him last time. But now he's probing around you against a weak buy here from Impulse. They've gone all in with everything they've got. No,
Ziggy is completely blind. Leo Drunky, the only one actually pushed through the smoke. There's for some reason we get to watch Spastic. I have no idea why. As Taylor Doodle and friends are going to do whatever they can. Exit will get the kill there onto Ziggy as Kaj is trying to win this fight. He is in fact going to win it against J&T, who clearly seems to be not much of a rifler. And the smoke will go the way of Spastic as he does get the kill there onto Exit, and it's now all up to Knack in a 2v1.
Knack is going to lose his head. Very nice shot from Spastic. Very quick aim there as well. So Impulse Gaming rallying late in this game, considering they looked pretty dead and buried. Let's have a look at the scoreboards. We haven't really looked at that so far, and fairly even across the board for both teams, actually.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have a couple of guys in the, well, 3 guys in the 20 marks. J&T's actually, I think, slowed down quite considerably given how well he was doing on that CT half, but I mean, hasn't been playing badly at all. Just clearly, you can see he's much less of a player once he doesn't have that AWP in his hands.
Yeah, clearly one of the players who are more comfortable with it. I guess maybe in the mold of like a JDM or somebody like that, who's pretty okay with pistols, great with the AWP, and pretty rotten with an AK.
To be fair, most AWPers you're not renowned for their AK play.
Except if you're Kenny S. He's good with everything, right?
He's okay. Like, he and Guardian are like, I mean, that is one of the reasons why they are like the best AWPers, is because if you take them off the AWP, it's not like they aren't complete bots. What is complete bots, though, is the YNG Sharks at this point. They are getting absolutely wrecked. Impulse
Slaughtered.
Gaming. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's like, I'm not saying that Kenny S and Guardian have amazing rifles, but they aren't bad.
Definitely workable. Like they're the kind of players that it does make sense that they could buy an AK and be effective with it. There are those AWPers out there that it's actually better for them to have a CZ than an AK in most situations.
Old school JW, JDM obviously most famously.
Indeed, so here's the buy from YNG Sharks, and again, it's not ideal, but for Impulse Gaming, since they didn't lose any players, there weren't any weapons to pick up, they're still on the FAMASs, which I don't know, maybe at this stage of the game, considering they won the round, I might have been tempted to actually upgrade anyway, just to try keep myself in it.
Yeah, I do think so, especially because, I mean, you lose any round, you're pretty much done. So, although perhaps, you know, if you continuously win rounds with like very little money, you end up having worse buys.
Also true, but I think it was 4 alive for them in the previous round, so it seems like a strange thing to do. But let's see, maybe it'll work out for them. YNG Sharks looked pretty positive on the T side early up, but it's looked a bit rotten for them in the last few rounds. So let's see if they can close this out. They're obviously on map and match point. This is a best of 1, so it should be possible for them to close out. I don't like their style of waiting so long, not really taking real map control either. It just means they're executing into a relatively set defense.
This has been a much better round for map control from YNG Sharks. So they've made certain that there's nobody pushing out Impulse Gaming's A site, although Impulse hasn't really done a whole lot of that. Impulse has been a very, very passive
20
CT
seconds.
team. Yeah, YNG Sharks running it close. Is it going to work? Drunky gets the first one. That'll be Ziggy, and now the heat is on.
It's really close, and unfortunately, Auto Director wrecking us again, but there are kills coming in. Let's see if we catch any of them. There's Leo Drunky getting another one before Spastic takes him out, and it's a 1v2, but there is HP on Knack. And he's going to catch the first. He catches the second as well, closes it out beautifully. I didn't think it was necessarily going to work, but Knack finally wins the clutch, and he wins the whole game there for the Sharks.
Yeah, it got a bit dicey there. You can clearly see both teams need quite a bit of work on the Cobble T side, even though that is traditionally what is favored on this map. So, I mean, I guess CT sides and skill over tactics are the order of the day between these two teams. As it was, YG Sharks do win the game, so well done to them. They will continue on their merry way in ESEA main, and we will continue our merry way into what should be the next game in probably, if it's not live, it should be in the very next few minutes.
Yeah, very possible. The IP is up. Let me just pull it up. We'll jump on the server right now, guys, and just make sure that the game is or isn't starting. You can't tell always because players sometimes take a little bit long to show up. So let's jump on the server. Let's have a look. If the guys are there, we'll jump straight into the game. If they're not, maybe we'll take a quick break, catch our breath after all that rushing B and rushing A and just rushing in general that was happening in the previous game in the first half before the second half was all. Let's just wait a little bit and consider our options.
Yeah.
Look at this. I think we're hitting the timing perfectly here. It looks like it's pistol round.
Yeah, it does seem as though... Wow, that is some perfect timing indeed. And
fantastic.
It does look as though Ebuyer has started on the CT side, so definitely the more favored side on this map. Although, I mean, if you are Astralis and you do know how to play this map, it is a pretty dominant T side as well, if the opponents are not aware of how to play it.
Look at this aggression from Ozzy. He has all the sound cues as well. You can see that he knows exactly what's going past him. So the calls will come to his teammates. He just needs to find the timing here, and he's going to wreck the timing, unfortunately. But it does bring in the information they need. There's the first kill for Vanity. Drops the player before taking the headshot in turn. They're going to get the bomb plant here, but the retake is still very doable for Ebuyer.
Yeah, Mike, I think that means power, if I remember correctly.
Yep, power in Swedish. Team preparation. The flash is doing a little bit of damage, and the push through the smoke here as well. And there's a flank going on at the same time. Fantastic work from team preparation here. And it's on two players. Shadow being spotted out, and he's going to get dropped down courtesy of that Shadow. It's all on one player. Quick. Is he quick enough? No, he is not. Excellent round out of team preparation.
Yeah, it was actually very well set up. They put the bomb and then just got super aggressive on Ebuyer through that smoke and through the bank area. And it was quite weird that Ebuyer actually had like 3 players sitting at the dumpster, maybe just trying to catch team preparation off guard. But what it did do is open them up massively for a huge flank from the team preparation players going through the bank. And Vexed paying in blood, as it were. And team preparation picks up the pistol on the T side.
Yeah, we of course have casted both of these teams before, so it is nice to work off a little bit of information. I recall Vexed Gaming's Quicks being a pretty good player, and on the other side, Mike Tug was really good as well. Cursor is also pretty clutch also, so I think overall it should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Vexed, Pickles, did Pickles have it? I think he was the player that had that nightmarish game when they played the last time we cast them.
Yeah. You're asking for it if your name's Pickles, really.
I don't know, Pickles is the drummer of Metalocalypse. So
Metalocalypse. I'm trying to remember some of the names of the characters there, but while this is going on, Swissgar. But yeah, there's a couple of kills coming in here, and it is actually favoring the CT side, considering they're on the force buy, and they're going to be in a really good situation. Sign now coming in, hoping to cut off the access to the gun, and he's going to be able to do it. So they still have the weaponry advantage, but they're spread out a little bit here. They need to join up and try to look after each other, watch each other's backs.
They are going to actually make a very good call here going towards the B side now. Maybe Vex gets there in time to cut that off, but it looks as though team preparation are going to bank on an open B side, and they are going to be rewarded for their chance taking. They definitely bought into Bitcoin early because this is going to work out big time for them.
Oh, Bitcoin is volatile, as we know, and the round definitely not in the bag for them. There is the AK in hand for the CTs, but the early aggression from Lennerton catching off the first player. I don't know if he spotted the second, but he did. Sees the Shadow and shoots him in the legs. That's all over. Team preparation win against the grain, considering how the round went early up.
Yeah, Sign and Lennerton doing fantastic work. They're knowing that they had to actually get aggressive off of that bomb site to make certain that they either cut down the numbers or spot out where the players are, because they needed information in that situation. They hadn't seen any of the Vexed gaming players for quite a while. Plant the bomb, you can't just sort of sit passively and wait for them to push onto site. They will almost certainly just gang up on you and end up costing you your life. So Vexed gaming, close but no cigar, as team preparation continues on their merry way towards what should be the third round, as Muller is on the hunt with a very, very pink Mac 10.
The Neon Rider. Always a favorite of Forest. Gonna get shot there with a first up with the one tap from the USB, but it ain't gonna kill him initially. There's the flank coming in from Truth. Meanwhile, the B bomb site is wide open and fully in control of the Swedish side.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, talking about Metalocalypse earlier, Squizgar Squigelf, the guy who's apparently taller than a tree, is actually Swedish, as he's the lead guitarist as well.
Everybody who's in a metal band is Swedish. That's what I've heard.
Not quite. I think, if I remember correctly, Toki Wartooth is Norwegian.
I just mean a metal band in general. Like everybody's Swedish.
They do make some very good metal music, though. I mean, especially In Flames these days has obviously got a bit of a bad rep, but they were the pioneers of the Gothenburg sound. So.
Indeed, the Scandinavian region in general known for heavier, darker styles of music, and of course their landscape is perfectly tailored towards it being forests that look like a mystical wolf should be sort of walking around in it, so it makes for some great photo shoots.
That it does. I mean, it helps that you have some fairly imposing human beings with very dark war paint, basically just trying to be as intimidating as possible. And Laniton is going to pick up the first kill. He's going to pick up the second. What a spray transfer as he takes out Truth and Quicks in quick succession. The Cutlass did a little bit of damage, but ends up giving his teammate the first kill. Sign is going to wait and play it safe. Aussie walks straight into his crosshair and ends up paying the price. And Vexed is in a horrible situation now. 2 versus 4. One player is on low HP for team preparation. But, I mean, any player that has to deal with the full force of team preparation now is essentially in a 1v4, and that is almost unwinnable. As Vexed attempted double stack there through the middle area, didn't quite work out. Pickles is looking for information. He now probably will be making the calls, as he also gets the calls from Vanity. And first up, good play there from Vanity, gets Sign. Bomb will go down. As Vexed buys himself the smallest amount of space there with that kill. As Mike Tuch and friends will just set up shop. They know where the first player is. They have a good suspicion where the second will be coming from. So no need to get hasty up.
Still catches them anyway, does Vanity. And as you said, they knew exactly where he was. But he gets the kill. He's going to get traded off. 1v2. Pickles needs to come big. He had a nightmare the last time we casted them, but in this situation, he's running out of time. Gets the first kill. He has got the kit, so this could work for him, and he's going to have to stick it. He's got no other choice. But it's... Well, I was going to say that it's not going to work, but it did work. Laniton missing out after a hero play early in the round, not able to be the hero at the death.
Fantastic play there by Pickles, though, as he gets the kill through... doesn't get the kill through... He gets the defuse in the smoke, and I mean, how close was that? Half a second later, he goes down to the spray of Laniton. I mean, Laniton has shown some pretty good spray transfer at the very least, and some nutty aim in general, but that time, just fate abandoning him as he's not able to land that kill through the smoke there. I suspect he saw Pickles' feet right at the end, but at that point, just a little bit too late.
Indeed, so Vexed Gaming get themselves around there, and the only thing for them, of course, is with one player alive, it does put them in the situation that the buy isn't that strong, considering team preparation got the AKs on all the utility they could ever want.
Team preparation playing a fairly aggressive style. They do love to start towards the fountain, but haven't really made much use of the long area or the bathrooms, in fact.
So Truth trying to discern if he can figure out some truth as to where his opponents are, and that headshot is going to greet him and give him the information. Just don't think he would have liked to learn their location that way.
Yeah, that's a bit of a painful way to do it, and a very costly one, since Vexed Game can ill afford to lose weapons at this point. We've now got Vanity. He's also looking for some info. A little bit dangerous. He is vulnerable to a long push, and it looks as though team preparation are going to throw my words right back in my face, because said they hadn't used long very much, as Mike Tuch and Laniton combine for the 2 players on the lower area. And Vanity, timing is going to do him in as Muller checks that. Precisely the wrong moment for the Ebuyer player, and that'll be that. Pickles, I mean, he clutched the last round. I don't think he's going to be able to clutch this one. He's already in saving position here. holding what looks to be the graffiti area on B, and team preparation get the bomb down. 1v4. Pickles probably doesn't even attempt this.
Yeah, he'd be a little crazy if he were to do it, because they're obviously facing the reset here, so whatever they can take into the next round is going to be helpful for them. And team preparation looking very well prepared, if I may say it. They're well drilled in the way they're approaching the map, and in general, I'd say so far, although the game is only 5 rounds old, is a slightly better level of CS than what we were seeing out of the previous two teams.
Yeah, I mean, team preparation has shown a very pleasing what's the word now? Tendency, I think, to double up. I mean, they do seem to be running a buddy system. I mean, especially if you saw the push down into the low area, they had 2 players coming in through the top and then 1 pushing in through the actual underpass itself, and it meant that even if Vexed Gaming was stacking the underpass area, they would actually end up losing players regardless. So team preparation doing very, very, very good work, and that is a hallmark of the Swedish teams, is that while they might not have had very good tactical and strategic play, they certainly had fantastic team play, and it's showing here again.
Yeah, great work out of them, and of course in the previous times that we've covered them as well, they've displayed that as in spades also. And what does not exist in spades is weapons of any real quality here for Vexed Gaming. Definitely scraping the bottom of the proverbial barrel.
Yeah, Quicks could get done in by timing, and how many times have we said that in this gaming since Quicks, I mean, half a second longer, just half a second longer, and Mike Dick probably walks directly into a bullet to the brain. That's a real pity there for Vexed, as
always
that would have been an
frustrating.
invaluable weapon. Yeah, so it really just is frustrating. Team preparation this time just doing a very good job of clearing out the bathrooms area. You can see again, flash in, Kurtlis will check off the back of that. But team preparation moving very, very slowly, moving as a pack, and just clearing all the areas. Sign will now move in to back up Mike Tuch in the lower area, and we'll continue on. Vanity could spot, he does spot, but is spotted in return. So team preparation knows they will almost certainly have had the spots called out now.
Side hit coming in, yeah, and there is going to be the entry for Mike Tuch. He's aware of the flank possibly coming in, but gets caught reloading it. That is, again, another frustrating situation. The flank coming in, the long flank, in fact, with this easy. If Ozzy needs to get himself a weapon, but he's not going to be able to. He's caught on the reload, and he's going to go down. So there's another round for team preparation. Not too much damage done in return for Ebuyer there. Of course, there are 2 teams in Vexed Gaming. One...
This is the primary team and then an Ebuyer team.
Yeah, the primary team is actually French, with Kaylee in it.
Kukli.
He
of the most famous jumping USP in CS:GO history, and of the most famous ban, I would just say. Second most famous ban.
Yeah, of course, after the match fixing ban.
Power
Yes.
5, yeah.
Indeed, so we got 5 USPs, and 5 USPs aren't going to do too much against team preparation. And Auto Director, again, thank you guys, appreciate it. Need new algorithms, please, Valve, for that. It is bringing it a little bit close, 3v3 here, and doing some damage, I think, but it's probably not going to be enough to win the round, considering the equipment that team preparation have. But Ebuyer definitely getting some stuff to work with, maybe even look at saving. And there's a knife for Quicks. I don't know how that happened. Landerton didn't check the corner, and now it is actually winnable with those 2 AKs. The only issue for them is the lack of armor.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I'll talk about something at the end of the round, but yeah. Preparation got themselves into a horrible kerfuffle here. Sign is going to get caught from behind. He's actually going to go down to Ozzy there, who does eventually control the spray. Mike Tuch has removed the second player though, and Ozzy, it's all about the timing. He's not going to land it. He's going to have to jump down and not try to take a fight. Does he know that Mike Tuch not available? Unfortunately, any other spot, team preparation is aware of the potential.
Ooh.
Ozzy, very good, but he doesn't have the kit. He's going to just run and save it as best he can. Gets himself an AK. There's not a whole lot else that he can do at this stage. Very, very well played there by both teams, actually. Team preparation with the wherewithal to actually plant in a fairly aggressive position, given the situation they were in, and Vexed Gaming doing as much as they could to slow down team preparation in terms of building economy, because team preparation's economy is still a bit dicey. If they lose this round, they could be in the situation where they are required to force.
Yeah, the back and forth in that round, it looked like Preparation had completely fluffed it, and then there late, I think Mike Dig, despite the low HP, playing it perfectly. And as you said, thanks to that plant, it really helped him out.
Yeah. Just going back to the one thing that I want to speak about at the end of the round, as Sign is able to kill Ozzy, is that Vexed has a very high tendency to push the A long and bathrooms area when they're on a save. And it's happened now 2-3 times where team preparation is just like, cool, let's just walk into the B site and plant there. And I think if Vexed just had one guy spotting at the B site, you maybe get him a P250 or something like that, they could do some serious damage to team preparation running into there, as serious damage is being dealt to Vex's chances of winning this round. They do trade out. Sign is on low HP, but they've lost 2 players, and team preparation has lost only 1.
Again, the trade game working very well for team preparation, setting themselves up to make sure that if anybody dies, that they're going to be able to get the revenge kill instantly, and that's been a feature of their game so far, except maybe in the last round where I think maybe a little bit of exuberance against what they knew was a weak buy caught them a little bit, and there's a very important kill on Sign. He's going to go down to Vanity, and they're going to be pushing the smoke, I think, trying to get into the bomb site. Actually, no. It looked like they were going to, but deciding maybe discretion is the... well, I was gonna go with a nice long proverb there, and we're not going to be able to do that. Let's hit the bomb site, and in they go. Kurtula's very worried that there could be a flank, and actually the CT smoke helping them out there. It wasn't their smoke.
Well, Quicks goes down. Kurtlis is not going to be able to trade. Pickles gets the kill there, but Mike Tuch instantly trades, and they must be aware that Vanity must be holding around the bathrooms area, and Mike Tuch, again, timing works out perfectly for him as he's able to remove the final remaining player for the Vexed Gaming side. And I mean, we mentioned potential ecos. Vexed Gaming better start taking economics courses, because at this point there's not a whole lot they can do with the money they have.
Indeed, not working out for them so far. There's a FAMAS in their hands, actually, so it's not really a full force, but because of the loss bonus that's occurring at the moment, but it is enough that they can do some damage. And team preparation, smelling blood in the water here, going straight for the B-bomb site.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risky one on a force fire, but as it is, it's going to work out. Actually, they lose the first player. That'll be Sign going down.
Oh, the Deagle going to punish 2 there. Beautiful work. 3 on 2, and one of the players, Muller, is really low. He does get the AWP kill, though. And into a 1v1 we go yet again on the B-bomb site, and the HP not favoring team preparation at all. It's all about finding the right peak, and he is going to find it. I don't know why Quicks actually went for the information there, since the last kill that came in was an AWP kill. They should have known that.
I mean, the problem is there, he had to pick one of 2 spots. Either Malik comes short, or it comes the pipe. You know, if he hadn't spotted a player for quite a while, then maybe you start suspecting the play through A, but again, just gambling on the wrong area, and it just feels like Vexed Gaming has cursed this game, because every time they check an area, it'll be like half a second later they get stuffed, or they'll, you know, turn a corner right as a team preparation player walks around the angle, and it's a real pity. But I mean, team preparation can't take anything away from that. They have played very, very well, and Vanity with the good old Zipex boost as Vexed Quicks. That is fantastic, but that is not. Kurtlis trades him out, and Vex could ill afford to lose their AWP at this stage of the game.
That's one of those situations where when you get the first kill, it's probably a good time to back out. And Kurtula's spells something amiss in the air, and he gets himself a truth for his troubles.
Yeah, gets himself another head for his pile at this point, as Ebuyer has had a very, very rough time of it. It's 8-1 for team preparation, and I mean, team preparation still just playing passive, knowing that Vexed has to push off the sites to get some level of information. And I mean, team preparation, yeah, they still have tons of utility, which is a bit odd. Usually you'd expect them to at least start using 1 or 2 flashes.
Keeping them for later, I guess, but later is coming because it is quite late in the game already. Interesting cool flash. I like that. Very, very cool. And here goes the utility flying in, the B-bomb site take coming in. Only 1 player to oppose them. And it's going to be Pickles who gets the first, but he's going to be flushed out immediately there with the molly, forcing him to peek wide. And that's a really nice trade for team preparation. Not too worried that they lost 1 player. Very good execution. And for the other 2 there that are left, Vanity and Aussie, again, got to hang on to those weapons. Although maybe the lost bonus is of the order that they can go for it, and that might be why they're doing it. I didn't think they would.
Yeah, I mean, there's a debate I think you can have whether at this point it's so late in the game that you sort of have to try and make something happen, but at the same point, they don't really have enough to full buy here, whereas if they'd saved those 2 weapons, they could have had something a little bit more valuable going into this round. And, I mean, Vexed, at this point, staring down the barrel of a very, very powerful weapon. I mean, probably the Paris gun from World War One, but right now, either way, Vexed is not looking in great shape.
Pulling out the history again, hey, Prof?
That's all I can do.
Oh, well, I'm also a big history buff, but it's easier for me to make fun of you. It's fantastic, and there's some great work again from Team Preparation against the limited buy from Vexed Gaming. And Abuse, to answer your question, is this the main team or the academy team? I'm not sure that there necessarily are academy teams. There's a British team and there's a French team. This happens to be the British team.
Yeah, the French team tends to be better, but I mean, I don't know if they're, you know, officially like this is our A team and this is our B team.
Yeah, this team's actually named after the sponsor of the MGO in general, Ebuyer, whereas the other one is called WGG, I think it is. So, and of course it has Cookley in it, Kaylee, the famous jump USPer of getting banned fame. So we've tried to cast them a few times, and each time they've rescheduled the game at the last minute, which has made it a little hard. But I think the last times
you would call it suspicious.
A little bit, yeah. Well, certainly Vexed Gaming didn't look like a bad team in the previous times that we've covered them. It's just Team Preparation seem really well drilled. The trading game very strong on them here as well. There's a kill actually going to back into the AWP holding the angle though. So 2v1 bomb plant will come in. Vanity's got the armor to work with, and I think he was heard. You can see they're both moving. Yeah, they must have heard him running.
No, Sign's checking the. No, yeah, they must have heard him. They must have heard the jump, I would assume.
Oh, jeez. That could have gotten dicey, but he does get traded off immediately. I had flashbacks to Sunday with Guardian there for a second.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is where the 1v5 started. Not quite an AWP in Vanity's hands, but he did it well enough. But again, Team Preparation is just, this trade game is absolutely magnificent. It just doesn't seem like you ever fight a single Team Preparation player. It's always 2 or 3 of them.
Very seldom has it come down to sort of 1v1 situations. I think twice in the game there. Quick's going aggressive, gets himself the kill, and of course double AWPs here for Vexed Gaming as well. Quick's now probing around lowers, and he gets the kill as well. He was so impressive the other day, and again continuing that form. The only problem is they don't have any rounds to work with.
Yeah, 2 opening frags is a fantastic start for Vexed. They haven't been able to get a lot of them.
Oh!
Quick's is going to get himself a 3rd, and he is basically taking this round by the scruff of his neck. We're going to win this one, he says. And we're going to do it all off of my back. And that is that. Team Preparation not really in any sort of shape to be able to win this in any reasonable way. But this is CSGO. Reasonable things are a thing of the past. Can they continue? We don't know. Vexed at this point, by all rights, should win. But sometimes it's just not fair.
Yeah, looking at the players they've got left here, Sign is one of those guys who's quite an effective entry fragger. Muller there, the AWPer getting himself a kill as well. I just don't know if in a 4v2 if it's really realistic. I mean, he only took down the player who was already on low HP, who started off the good run for Ebuyer.
I mean, why was Quicks pushing there? He's got like 14 HP and an AWP.
Bloodlust. Pickles is going to take down Sign. That's the round. But I do totally agree with you there. Maybe just deciding, hey, well, I'm low HP. I might as well go for a bit of information anyway. But considering that they're gonna win the round, you don't really want to lose any more guns because you're again within range of the reset.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no guarantee that you can get the AWP off of Male. Happily, they did. So I mean, in the end, it's not that bad. But let's say they lose another 2 players after that. That means you got 2 players surviving into the round. You can't you can't buy another AWP. Like they just didn't have the money to buy the AWP there. So very odd decision by Quicks to continuously push. I mean, fantastic play to open up the round, but I don't know why he's taking a chance like that when he doesn't really have the money to endorse that kind of play.
Certainly. So Slower round here coming in. Quick's not going for that aggression towards the fountain area this time around. He went for Loa's very nice angle from Kurtula's dirty shot.
That was a fantastic shot. I mean, he had to hit that shot. Quicks is almost certainly winning the duel if that happens.
When you're wrecking an AWP at long range, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, especially with a single bullet. Like I said, if he doesn't hit the heady there, he's dead. So, very, very well played by Kurtula's.
Team Preparation, also one of those teams that is sort of a breeding ground for young Swedish talents. I recall casting them in ECS in 2016. They were certainly really impressive. A couple players there that you may have heard of since, like I know Hampus was there. I think Nexa was in that team as well at the time, and both of those players have gone on to bigger and better things. Arguably, Aussie getting himself sane, so bringing it back a little bit. But Kurtula is so impressive so far. Gets a player despite being under tremendous pressure from the player short 6 HP, and he still gets the kill.
Yeah, and because they know where the last player died, they will suspect that he is still holding the bathrooms area, and you can already see Kurtula's jumping aggressively into the lowers area of the A site, so just prevent anyone from pushing through that area. And I mean, Aussie's on the long flank. Don't really know how effective that's going to be. Could catch Male on the side, but he's just going to save.
He's listening to the
Grab
cast,
himself.
obviously. He's like,
Probably. I mean, he's grabbed himself an AWP, so it's probably, you know, the whole team's like screaming at him, like, save the AWP, save the AWP, save the AWP. And I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of anything getting them into this round. So yeah, Vexed. I mean, slight bit of hope with that single
no.
round win, but it's going to come back to haunt them. He's going to get Kurtula's though, so in the end, he saves the AWP. They will not really be able to buy much. They'll get themselves a FAMAS and an M4. It's actually better than I expected, but I mean, outside of that, it's not really saying a whole lot of anything.
definitely better than we expected, though, of course. So, not what we expected in terms of scoreline, though. I really did think it would be closer, considering what we've seen out of Ebuyer in the past. Quick's there, getting a nade for his troubles, and not really getting all that much more else. Muller trying to go for the timing shot through the smoke, not going to find anything just yet. Vex Gaming now either poised to bring this back if they can win this round, or they're in the situation where the half is a complete blowout, and that's not going to help. Quick's again getting aggressive and again punished towards long.
Yeah, and this time he doesn't even get the single kill, which he needed with that AWP, so it's going to cost him. Aussie now forced to make a play. Is he going to get spotted? He's going to get the first one. He could have actually gotten lucky and gotten the second. Kurtula's on very, very low HP there. Male not going to take him. Well, waits a little bit too long as Mike Tuck just watching any aggressive pushes. But, I mean, again, it just feels as though as soon as they're low on money, Vexed pushes the A-long area. And it's just mystifying that it's taking me this, or that it's taking Team Preparation this long to actually realize that fact. Is they will lose another player. It's a 3 versus 4, and Vexed has recovered the AWP, so not looking too bad for the boys from Sweden and England. Or Britain, should I say.
Yeah, of course, a mixed team, not fully UK. Sign there taking vengeance upon one of the players who is very definitely from the UK, and that is the bomb site in their control. 3-on-3. Vanity going to drop the bomb, so they've got some good information, and the flank coming in long range with the UMP. Is he going to kill him with the UMP long range? Look at that, tapping away as Aussie completes the double kill, and it's all on Sanya. First peek is exactly what it needed to be, but there's a player lurking in the smoke, is going to take him down.
And Truth, well timed on the trade kill there, as he knew he had to help his team as soon as that fight went down. And I mean, I would say light at the end of the tunnel for Vexed, but that's a very, very big. Sorry, it's a very, very long tunnel, and I don't really know if that is in fact the light of the day or the light of a train, because Team Preparation still comes out looking fairly healthy. I mean, not fantastic, but I think on average probably a little bit more firepower. Maybe not as much in terms of the AWPs, but a lot more mobility, I think, than Vexed.
Certainly so. So here towards lowers, there's a little bit of gunfire being exchanged. In truth, if he's not too careful, could maybe catch a stray AK bullet there. Meanwhile, Lannerton getting himself the UMP kill. Flash through the smoke, and look at that from Sign bumping into him there. Still gets the kill before getting traded. Unfortunately, though, the strong guns are down. It's only an M4 and this MP9 that are still alive for Vex Gaming Ebuyer, and for Team Preparation in a very good situation now in this round.
Yeah, and Team Preparation once again they know that once they've gotten a number of kills, they can just slow things down, start to take gradual map control. Not really look for anything funny at this point, as Vanity is again pushing aggressively. He's done this a number of times, pushing aggressively through the bathrooms. A couple of times it's worked out, but it does seem as though Team Preparation is aware of it. Okay, Lannerton. Okay.
The yield jump followed by the headshot. That's
While under fire.
While under fire. Always
Classic
tilting when
MM.
it happens to you.
Classic MM. In MM, it's usually because you're missing like 15 shots before he actually gets it off. But in that case, it just felt like Lannerton reacted incredibly quickly.
Yeah, Lannerton spotted Pickles as he came out there thanks to the angle that he was holding. So it works out pretty nicely there. Team Preparation. Everything worked out pretty nicely on the whole. 12-3, I think they would have taken that if they were told that's what they're going to get before the game, and they wouldn't have argued about it. Great half.
12-3 T side is absolutely brutal, in fact. As I mean, this is a fairly heavily CT favored map, and Vexed has been monstered by Team Preparation.
What a T side. Again, the trade game that we were going on about at length in that first half, I think, really very strong. The trade game very strong with Team Preparation, and you can see that that's the practice that's gone into it for them, the time that they've spent working on the map and the game together. It takes a lot of coordination on the T side, and particularly on a map like this, to trade that effectively, because positioning is all important. You've got to be very coordinated and as you're taking control of the various areas on the map. Yeah.
And you could see Vex Gaming constantly just got done. I mean, a lot of it was just felt like timing, but I do also think that is doing a bit of a disservice to Team Preparation, who were also very methodical in how they took map control and in which areas they attacked first and where they forced Vex Gaming back, because a lot of the fights went down around the fountain area, but Team Preparation was always getting kills either at long in the fountain area towards the party, or in the lowers area, and as soon as they did that, it gave them the potential to basically split either of the sites, and Vex never really seemed capable of dealing with it. So second pistol is about to go live. Can the boys from Britain turn things around?
Oh, early aggression here
Not
from
a great
Lannerton,
start.
catching the first player, looking for a bit more towards lowers. Meanwhile, that bomb on Pickles towards B, they were, I think, trying to play for a distraction play to get the mic check power in Swedish, and he's showing his power with the USB there. Drops Aussie. Bomb plant will come in, but I think the original intention there was for a fake so that the bomb plant would be easy, and then they ended up having to use that as the plan B, essentially. 4 HP now on Lannerton.
Yeah, and multiple players coming through this area, and they'll just stack up, and it's going to make life very, very difficult. It is a 1-on-4. Can Quicks do it? He looked magnificent in some of the rounds. Gets a good shot to start things off, but unfortunately he's shooting directly at the sign. He's going to have to keep spamming. Does he get lucky and kill Lannerton? He does indeed. That'll probably going to turn things around. He actually gets 2 through the smoke, and in the end, Sign will just rub the salt into the wound there with that last kill. 13-3 for Team Preparation. And that was actually, I mean, that was a near run thing. Had he hit the player that he needed to with those first couple of shots, they might have been off to a good start there for Vex Gaming, but very well played once again by Team Preparation. Just knowing they had 4 players, 3 guys can, you know, do a bit of a body block. In the end, it was only 2 doing it, but more than enough to keep Vex Gaming at bay.
It's quite funny with that one of the earlier shots that he put through there dropped the diffuser really low, and it just didn't land another shot in time, unfortunately. There, Lannerton tapping away with the M4 under a bit more pressure than he realizes, I think, but he does escape with 44 HP. And against it's not really a force buy, it's just some upgraded pistols. They're going to go for the AKs in the next round. They are taking some damage, but they shouldn't be able to lose this. As I say that, though, the Glock doing big damage.
Yeah, I mean, 2 players very, very low. That'll be Mala going down. It's only the SMG, though. As Kurtlers, he's going to play it safe, kills the guy fighting him, and then kills the bomb planter. Truth, the last remaining player, and will be executed there by Kurtlers for the triple on the round. Actually, the quad on the round. So yeah, Kurtlers doing very, very well here. I mean, a little bit of an unsung hero. We have been saying a lot about Lannerton in particular. Kurtlers, I think, is not a player to sleep on at this point.
Indeed, and talking about sleep, we are going to try to bring you guys some of the Bravado gaming matches coming up this week. There's supposed to be 2 before they leave for WESG, so that's likely to be, I think, Thursday early hours of the morning and Saturday early hours of the morning, but trying to confirm that with the team and make sure that we can bring that to you guys. Check it out on Twitter if you want to find out when Bravado are playing in ESEA Main in America. check me out on Twitter at Extremes or Profeci at Profeci Gaming, and you'll know all about it. And meanwhile, they know all about this take towards the fountain area. There's the trades coming in.
Yeah, and once again, team preparation comes the better out of that. They will lose a second player in the end as Lannerton tries to take an aggressive positioning. Kurtlers, though, he's once again traded out. Somehow, after all this chaos, it is a 3v3 or a 3-4-3. But Vexed Gaming comes out much the worse. Aussie on 4 HP. Pickles, I mean, he's going to have to do most of the heavy lifting here. And you're up against Mike and Sign. This could be a rough game, since Sign has been quietly dominating. He's actually got more kills than any of the Vex Gaming players, and a fantastic positioning by Sign that leaves Pickles in a difficult situation, but one that he is advantaged in at this point.
I thought you were going to say a pickle.
No. That would be too easy.
It really would be. He doesn't seem aware of the player close to him, but gets the headshot anyway. What a shot from Pickles.
That was just absolutely nutty shot there from Pickles. I mean, if he gets hit in the head there, he dies. So he either had to hit the first shot or get extremely lucky, and he chooses the skill method. Team preparation, going to buy up a little bit here, but I mean, they know that they're pretty convincingly in the lead and not going to take any chances. Just buy up a couple of weapons to keep the economy low and Vexed, and then by and large they will be saving.
Well, I think it's probably a good decision considering how many rounds they're in the lead. 10 in front at the moment, so they can definitely afford to play the long game. And for Ebuyer, it is an absolute mountain that they have to climb. Sign, one of the players who's been doing well so far and somehow survives. Not really dead yet, and finally a kill, and actually it's going against the T side who got all the equipment to deal with here, so some real damage team preparation could do now with it.
Yeah, Kurtlers I think should probably just try and save, make certain they have as much money as possible. They'll look to do some damage with the other players. Sign does not have a full clip. He will go down there. Kurtlers doing quite a bit of damage. Lannerton also chiming in here. As all of a sudden Ebuyer in a bit of a dodgy situation. It's a 3 versus 2.
Oh, finally getting some kills. 3 quick kills is going to bring it back. Kurtlers going for the fake and gets dropped, but that got way too close for Vexed Gaming considering the advantage that they had going into that round.
Yeah, and once again, just all set up by team preparation's good team play. It's just, like I said, Vexed Gaming constantly tries to take fights with team preparation, but you're never fighting one player. You're fighting multiple players at once, all from different angles. And, I mean, you know, I mean, what was I going to say? Like, Valve often balances the pistols, as they say, or they balance the game in general for matchmaking, but you can see there how powerful these pistols can be once you have to fight 2 of them at a stage, because you can only fight one guy. You have to kind of stand still, and if there's a second guy shooting at you with a CZ, you're pretty done. There's not a whole lot you can do against that guy.
Yeah, very good points. It's Truth in a bit of trouble now. Perfect flash there again. That team play coming into it, and that's a ton of information as well for team preparation. Mike Jig there showing the strength of the Swedish side.
Yeah, and getting off to a wonderful start here.
Here's the
Vexed
boost.
is gonna have yeah. Once
Even
again, a
more
little bit
information.
Yeah.
Jeez, we think alike, man. That's wonderful. Or it's worrying. I don't know. I might be spending too much time with you.
That would depend what you call spending time with me. But Quicks is going to go down. Male spending just enough time to rip out his heart, feed him his brain. And, well, now they're going to get spammed through smoke. Male's not going to get lucky on the second attempt.
Oh.
But Aussie just executing him there, and Sign will clean up the round. Aussie and Pickles, the last 2 players alive, last 2 players to die. Team preparation 15-5, and this has been a dominating win here over Vexed. If they can close it out, Vexed has it all to play for and nothing to play with, unfortunately. Pickles is going to do whatever he can to get himself a deagle, but other than that, it's 2 CZs and a UMP and the AK. So Aussie has been one of the better players for the Vexed side, but this has not been one of the better maps for the Vexed side.
And just getting absolutely mowed down there. That was completely red there by team preparation. Taking them out, putting them out to pasture. And while we got,
I think Vexed is too easy to read. Like every time they have to either force or eco, they go A.
Yeah, very much the case, and it's all down to Aussie again, as has happened so many times. And you should be aware of the player close to him here, as Lannerton gets the kill, but now they know exactly where he is, and he's being flanked as well.
and they know where the bomb is, so they don't really have to do a whole lot of anything.
He needs to find some 1v1s, but I just feel with... Oh, I was going to say with the team play that, yeah, they're not going to do that, but they do offer up the kill. It's not going to matter, though. That is the game, ladies and gentlemen. Not that I assume there are any ladies here.
Beds if you assume there's any gentlemen here, too.
I don't assume too much. Not too many people watching tonight, but that's good. We like the casting practice.
It is indeed great, and that will be that. So, Vexed Gaming falls 16-5 against the boys of Team Preparation, and I mean, clearly this map just does not suit the British side.
Definitely not. I found the map overall far more entertaining than the first game, despite the fact the first game was closer, just because the structure Team Preparation was showing was pretty nice to watch. It's really good to see a team functioning like that. And if I could liken it to anything, I guess if any of you guys have watched Bravado versus Team 1 over the weekend in the ECS Challenger Cup, Team 1 were very much in that mold as well. Just great team play, working off each other, and BVD struggled to deal with it. And we saw that with Vexed Gaming as well.
That is the problem. Is like I'd say that you get different mixes on every team. You have obviously skill, which is usually paramount, but then team play and tactics can have a massive influence. And the Swedish teams have always been known for fantastic team play, and you could see it big time tonight, completely ripping the British team apart with some very, very well coordinated team.
Indeed, so let's just quickly have a look-see at the statistics, because I was going to show the scoreboard at various points, and then it just never did. So why not quickly show you guys the stats on that? So having a look at it here, Landerton at the top of the scoreboard. Interestingly, I mean, we saw some nice work from him, but in general, he wasn't always involved in the highlights, except for that rather crazy spray transfer that he did towards the stairs at Fountain. But in general, we're quietly going about his work, doing amazing work, as it were. 123 ADR, and he's got 1.143 frags per round, which is pretty crazy. I think if you're over 0.8, you're doing pretty amazingly well. So
yeah, 0.7 at the upper levels is, well, I mean, 0.7 at the highest levels is considered fantastic. So
yeah, that's some great work from him there, and also the 4 triple kills. That just shows what an impact he had on the game in general. And across the whole team there for Team Preparation, everybody contributing well, except maybe for Muller, the AWPer, but he didn't really have to do a lot because they were playing such a trade-focused game.
Yeah, I mean, he also played a lot on the T rounds, and because of the fact that Vex tended to give them a lot of early fights, which the Team Preparation guys just doubled up on and picked up a lot of kills off of, it meant that Muller didn't really have a ton of kills to make. He didn't have to really hold the angle, didn't have to make some crazy play to open up the round. Rounds were generally open for him. There was a nice double that he got towards the long area on A, and that certainly opened up the round for them in that circumstance. But in general, didn't really need to do anything spectacular, and certainly just a very good serviceable AWPer.
Yeah, indeed. And while we're at it, I'd just like to quickly show something I just saw on Twitter from Profeci from HLTV, reposting something from the HLTV forums just to illustrate what an intense cesspool of human dregs it really is. Why breathing is unhealthy. Inhaling H2O, aka oxygen, aka is probably the worst thing you could expose your fragile human body to, as the statistics show. 100% of every dead person on Earth has at some point breathed oxygen into their lungs. Anyone who disagrees with me, feel free to try and prove me wrong. Pro tip, you can't.
Well, H2 is not oxygen.
I know, it's water.
That's just amazing. I mean, I did comment on a different forum today that I think HLTV is probably one step above 4chan in terms of how pedantic and stupid it can get. But hey, we can't really fight the forums.
Oh man, that was wonderful. I just loved that so much. But hey, opportunity, good to see you, man. You missed all the action, but you can go back and watch the VOD. It'll probably show up in like 10 or 15 minutes. Pro tip, I'd probably skip the first game. It wasn't that entertaining. The second game wasn't close, but it was entertaining. So give it a look. Team Preparation winning there against Vexed Gaming. In the meantime, we, I think, are done with the ESEA main action. Tomorrow you can check out some ESEA Open from South Africa. That'll be Profeci casting with Penguin doing, I think it's Vinco against, who is it, Goliath Gaming?
I do believe it is that indeed game. So no, it's Vinco versus Nibble. Nibble Esports.
Vinco versus Nibble. Okay. Well, definitely tune in for that one. I might also be at the same time cannibalizing the viewership and doing Energy versus Skeletons again, the top of the table clash with Anthrax, but we'll have to see whether the times work out or not. Hopefully we can make it for 9 o'clock so that it's just a little bit behind your guys' one. But in the meantime, give us a follow on social media at Extremes, at Profeci Gaming. Give the channel a like, give the channel a follow, and send me a fruit basket because I didn't get anything for Valentine's Day. Wow, the crickets. I feel unloved, Prof.
Should feel unloved. You didn't get anything on Valentine's Day. You said it yourself.
I know. Well, thanks guys for joining us. Appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers.